Barbara Kruger, who is a very leading figure of the feminist conceptual art, is known for her bold visual language that interrogates power, consumerism, and the construction of truth. Her work, Truth, continues the tradition, exposing how truth is manipulated by those who hold authority. This analysis argues that Kruger uses the stretch sponge, the authoritative male hands, and her signature color, space dynamics, to reveal truth as something pliable, gullible, that can be pressured and socially engineered, rather than something objective and just. At the center of the composition sits a sponge, an object associated with absorption, softness, and malleability, which is pulled forcefully by two male hands in a business suit. The sponge becomes a metaphor for the gullibility and manipulability of truth. Like a sponge, it can be stretched, reshaped, and distorted by those in power. Because the hands are unmistakably male and corporate, Kruger tries this distortion directly to patriarchal and institutional authority, which is a very recurring and common theme in her feminist critique of who gets to define the reality. The word truth, which is colored in red across the sponge, intensifies the metaphor. Red, which is a color associated with urgency, warning, and ideological aggression, underscores the constructed and contested nature of truth. Kruger's characteristic red borders in text recall propaganda aesthetics, suggesting that truth is often packaged and sold in striking, quite seductive, and very authoritarian forms. Behind this, we see a flat green background, which is a reminiscent of a school chalkboard. It introduces the idea of learning, indoctrination, and early cognitive shaping. The vast negative space around the central object isolates the scene, which forces the viewer to pay more attention onto the act of distortion itself. This visual emptiness creates a visual vacuum, where manipulation of the sponge by the corporate hands becomes very monumental and unavoidable, which mirrors how ideological manipulation often occurs in seemingly neutral environments. We don't even see it happening. Compositionally, the centered placement of the stretched sponge and hands gives the act of ritualistic, almost demonstrative quality. Truth is not just being held but actively performed. The tension, visual tension, that is created by the stretching directs the viewer's gaze outward toward the hands, toward the agents of manipulation, making power visible rather than invisible. Kruger very clearly shows that truth is not just a stable statement that we all follow out of good. It is something that can be pliable, something that can be easily distorted by authoritarian hands. Thus, Kruger's truth compresses feminist critique, semiotic tension, and graphic directness into a deceptively simple image. Through color, composition, metaphor, she exposes truth not as a stable fact, but as something contested, elastic, akin to a piece of sponge.